How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you guys are having a lovely day. Let me get this. I always got to reorganize at the beginning. I don't know why I do this to myself sometimes. Trying to deal with some different things here. Kind of got a little bit of a different setup for these live streams on my end anyways. So how are you guys doing? Say hi to everyone who's in the chat right now. We got Nintendo World here, the 8th Star, Corey Bohm, Micah Medina is here as well, Zen Master Daniel, Bra Moment, Gamebird Classic is here, Tavares is here, Wade 47 Tass is here, Wabai 7 is here. Let's see here, Blue X is here, Brian C, how's it going, man? We got let's see here. I think it's everyone. I think it's everyone in the chat, at least at the moment. If you would like a shout out, you can say something in the chat. I'll try to shout out everyone that I can, unless the stream gets crazy, like our streams have been tending to get crazy lately. Obviously, today I got a couple topics to talk about. As always, Q&A. You guys can ask questions. Carter Sanders is here as well. If you guys have questions, ping me in the chat. You can also like super chat and donate and get your questions at the top of the pile. All that jazz. Let's get into some of this stuff here. I got a couple topics I want to talk about. First off, Breath of the Wild 2, and then obviously my experience pre-ordering Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. I do have pre-orders for both. So we'll talk about that. And why, personally, I like the way that Microsoft handled the pre-orders better than PlayStation. However, both of them really screwed it up. So we'll get into that here. But first, let's talk about Breath of the Wild 2. This should be a pretty short topic. I could talk about Breath of the Wild 2 all day, but there's basically some, the Famitsu's Most Wanted came out, and Breath of the Wild 2 is back at the top. It had been knocked off the top perch for a little bit, but now the Most Wanted games in Japan came out. Breath of the Wild 2 is back on top. And I don't know if that's just because of the Age of Calamity hype, because, again, Age of Calamity, Tokyo Game Show, that's coming up here, so there's a lot of hype surrounding that. Thark wants to know, did the drink order I sent arrive, and was it in one piece? So you're the one who sent it, Thark. Holy crud. Okay. Thank you, Thark, for the $10 Australian dude. So Thark sent me a package. I didn't know who it was from. It didn't say who it was from. There was a package of like, God, what was it? Like 18 different pops. And we're talking like really weird ones, like bacon flavored soda, carrot cake soda, ranch soda, a whole bunch of really nasty sodas. So, Thark, you must have been the one that got it. There's a whole bunch of like really disgusting sodas. Maybe I'll show you guys some of them. Almost all of them are downstairs right now on my shelf, except for like 3 of them that are upstairs. I don't know if I'm ever going to drink these things. They are very unique. And like there's a bacon flavored one. They all sound disgusting. The only one that sounds maybe okay is birthday cake. And that's only because I've had birthday cake alcohol, so it can't be worse than that. We got Ben Story is here. Only Android. The Avengers 84. Coleb is here. Flying Puppy is here as well. Sweet Life of Dio Brando's here. Welcome, guys. All right, so obviously Breath of the Wild 2 is the most wanted game in Japan. Breath of the Wild 2 is the most wanted game in my life, to be completely honest. Like, when I think about video games, think about even the consoles, like the Series X coming out, the PlayStation 5, Miles Morales, and, we have Age of Calamity coming as well, which is related. There's nothing out there I want more than Breath of the Wild 2. And Japan agrees. As Famitsu Magazine's Most Wanted list came out, and Breath of the Wild is at the top. And this isn't like by the editors. This isn't editors picking games they want. This is based on fans of the magazine voting. They did a public vote, and the public decided Breath of the Wild 2 is the most wanted game in Japan. So that's going to have a huge debut. Like, whenever Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, it might crush Animal Crossing. Okay? Imagine this. Launch numbers in Japan that could crush Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing New Horizons, by the way, is the best-selling game in Japanese history. I don't know if you guys know that. I don't know how many of you guys know that Animal Crossing New Horizons is the top-selling game in Japan history. So, to imagine that Breath of the Wild 2 could potentially launch at a higher number than, doesn't mean it'll outsell it, but launch at a higher number. It's pretty crazy. The great Vergrada is here. Welcome, man. Wheezy Bird, welcome. Nintendo just announced new stock of Animal Crossing Switches. They're not going to have any more. I guarantee there won't be any more. iSheep is here. Harley Sonder is here. I can't tell whether I want it more than I wanted Breath of the Wild. The one extremely excited. Dude, I played Breath of the Wild, the first one, at E3 2016. I was there as a media member, as part of Zelda Informer. And I got to play it hands-on. I got a private demo, and then I played it probably 12 or 13 times at E3. I knew from the very first moment I played the game, the demo, that it was going to be something special. And it is. It's extremely special. What's up, Ender Sam? Welcome, man. Gail S. as well. Welcome, guys. David Emmanuel, welcome. So, yeah, I've known for a long time that I really, really want Breath of the Wild 2. So, yeah, that's really all I got to say on that, unless you guys want to keep talking about Breath of the Wild 2. It's just Famitsu. It's at the top of the charts. Any excuse to talk about Breath of the Wild 2, I will gladly take any excuse to talk about it. Next up, I'm going to talk to you guys about my Xbox Series X and Series S adventure. Now, if you got to watch the live stream yesterday, when I got a pre-order in for the Xbox Series S, you'll know how I pulled that off. So, I went to Gamestop in my area. I had my kids. I couldn't do one of those camp out all night things. I couldn't go like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours early. The store was going to open at 10 for pre-orders. So I got my kids to school. I got there about 7:40 a.m. And I was told by an employee at GameStop the day before that they would have 8 X consoles. So 8 Series X consoles available to pre-order. So I was number 6 in line but when I got there. So I'm like, cool. You know what? I'm going to get an Xbox Series X pre-ordered in person, be able to pick it up when the store opens on November 10th. That's going to be great. I don't have to wait for a package to arrive all day by 8 p.m. if it even arrives on time, because sometimes they don't. Sometimes it arrives a day early. Sometimes, more often, it arrives late. And 1 second, I have a phone call from my fiance. So 1 second. Sorry, that was my fiance calling. She needs whatchamacallit, some money. She lost her bank card for some reason, so I got to try to send her some money on Venmo. Pain in the butt. Let me see here. I need to find her. I need to find you. Where are you, Yulia? I never send you money, so I don't even know. On Venmo, I never do, because we have a joint bank account, so her losing her bank card sucks. But you know what? It happens. So I got to pay money. Just send her a quick 20. See if it'll go through. Pay. 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 Go through. Come on. It should go through. Yeah, that should have went through. All right. I got that money sent to her now. She's good. All right. So, to get this off my chest, says Ring Fit Master, Microsoft names their consoles terribly. Told my aunt to cancel her order on Amazon of the Xbox One X, mistaking it as an upcoming Xbox Series X for my cousin. So, one thing, Ring Fit Master, one thing to note about the console naming convention. Microsoft doesn't make Xbox One X's anymore. They discontinued the system. For those who don't know, Xbox One X is discontinued. They stopped making it months ago. So whatever stock the stores have is it. Microsoft isn't making that system. They discontinued it. And you might be like, why would they discontinue that system? Because of the name. Microsoft knew the name Xbox One X was too close to Xbox Series X, so they stopped making them. The problem is the stock they had didn't sell out because everyone was waiting for next gen. So I don't like. We're Nintendo fans. Are we going to complain about naming conventions? DS, 3DS, Wii U, 3DS, new Nintendo 3DS. Like, as a Nintendo fan, I find it really hard to criticize another company of naming conventions when we're not any better. What's up, Zen Master Daniel? You were at the part where you were 6th in line. Yeah. I know where I was at the story, man. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, anyways, getting back to the Xbox pre-order madness. So I was 6th in line. So I thought, I got an X locked in person. Great. GameStop employee shows up about an hour and a half before. So this is like an hour later. This is right before I started live streaming because I ended up live streaming. So about an hour later, so we get to about 8:30. GameStop employee shows up and he's like, let me go in and check how many units we actually have to pre-order because there was about 12 of us in line at the time. He goes in and checks because he's like, I'm pretty sure there's not enough Xbox, X's or S's for all of you guys. So he goes in and checks. And he comes back out and he's like, so here's the deal. We have 5 Xbox Series X's. Here I am at spot number 6, and there are 5 Xbox Series X's. So needless to say, I was kind of disappointed. They only had 2 Series S's. Now you might be like, why would they only have 2? In-person retail is not going to carry a lot of the Series S because the Series S does not make them any money after the initial purchase because it's all digital. It's an all digital system. So they can sell you the system and then that's it. You don't really have a reason to come back besides accessories. So there's a reason that retailers are probably always going to have more X systems in stock than S systems. That's just going to be true pretty much throughout the lifetime of this generation. Same's going to end up being true, by the way, for the PlayStation 5. The all digital version is going to be way less in stock at retailers than the one with the disc because retailers want you to buy the one with the disc, so you buy physical games. So that's just, that's going to be true across the board. Anyway, so they had 2 S's. So obviously I'm like, okay, I'll take the pre-order of the S. I wanted the X. I'll take the pre-order of the S. So, I ended up live streaming with you guys. And then I ended up, the guy told me I had till noon to walk into the thing. Guysy, fix your shelves. I know that there's some lean in this shelf. That shelf up there has a lean because there's a PlayStation 3 right in the middle. You can't see it. It's just off camera, and it's really pushing it down. This shelf, I don't know why. There's nothing really heavy up there, but it's leaning. I know. I have extra supports. I can put them in, put a support in the middle, push the shelf up. I don't care. If it bugs you, I'm sorry. But the shelves haven't gotten worse since I installed them. They're clearly not going to snap, at least not anytime soon. So I just don't care. Anyways, the shelves are the least of my worry. I'm a parent of 3, full-time college, full-time work, and I'm a YouTuber. Some shelves? Come on. Anyway, so getting back to my story. So 10 a.m. comes around. I already have a sticker. I showed it on stream. I had a sticker that guaranteed my Xbox Series S as long as I show back up to that GameStop by noon. And you might be like, why noon? Well, on the internet, that GameStop store doesn't open till noon. So if you were checking to pre-order, an Xbox Series X or S, you would think the store doesn't open till noon. Okay. And I thought the store wasn't going to open till noon either, but they opened it early for the pre-orders. So as long as I got my pre-order in for the S before noon, I was guaranteed my Xbox Series S. So when 10 a.m. hit, I'm on my phone. I'm hitting refresh on Microsoft's store website. I'm hitting refresh on Target. I had it in the Target. I literally had an Xbox Series X in my Target shopping cart because the Microsoft site crashed like within seconds. I had it in my shopping cart on Target. I had all my payment info in. I'm hitting pay. It keeps refreshing, keeps pausing, keeps refreshing, keeps crashing. And I kept thinking, other people are saying, keep doing it. It'll go through eventually. And it never went through for me. And then by the time it finally slowed down and it was still in my cart, it didn't matter at that point because they were all sold out. So I was a little frustrated because you go to the other websites, they were all sold out too. Walmart was sold out. Everyone was sold out except for Best Buy. Best Buy didn't launch theirs yet. And GameStop did something I feel is really smart, and we'll get into that. I didn't get it at GameStop, but GameStop did something very smart that I think Microsoft should have predicted and did with their own store. And I think GameStop learned from the PlayStation 5 launch, and that's why they did it. But we'll get into what GameStop did in a bit for online orders. So I kind of give up, right? I'm not going to get an X. It's like 10:30. They're clearly all sold out by 10:30. The Xbox Series X is online, right? They're all sold out. I got no shot to get one. I go in. I put $100 down on the Series S. I was going to pay it entirely off, but I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to put $100 down just on the off chance I happen to get a pre-order for X because I knew Best Buy didn't go live yet. So I knew I still had a chance with Best Buy to get a Best Buy order in. So whatever. I knew there was a chance. So whatever. I'll just put $100 down. We'll see. So I go off to Walmart in person, and I'm just shopping for my house. I'm getting some soap and some whatever things. Because Walmart's right next to GameStop, or right across the street from GameStop, I should say. So I'm just getting some supplies for the house, and I noticed that it looks like Amazon didn't put it up yet. So Amazon, like Best Buy, was waiting to put up their orders until after the rush, probably so Amazon wouldn't crash. Even though I think Amazon probably wouldn't crash. There could be certain servers that might crash during the rush, so they didn't put it up, just like Best Buy. They waited. So I'm sitting there like, all right, whatever. I don't really think much about it. I'm walking through Walmart. I have all the stuff, and I'm walking to I think by the toy. Somehow I ended up walking to the toys because I was looking at my phone and I didn't realize I walked over in the toy section. And I got a notification about a thread on Reset Era. Now, I'm banned from Reset Era. I don't know if people know that. It doesn't really matter. I don't need to get into why I'm banned. Point is that I don't really visit that forum for anything other than getting occasional news. And they had a thread there about pre-ordering the Xbox Series X. So I just happened to go to that thread and hit an arrow that took me to the last page of that thread. And in there, someone was posting different links through the Smile app. The Smile app is a charity app, by the way, for Amazon. Somehow, the Xbox Series X, even though you couldn't get it to load in the normal app, it would just keep saying the page doesn't exist. Here's a dog error. That's what Amazon does on pages that aren't loading, and they didn't have it up. Through the Smile app, people were able to get links to the Series X that would let you add it to your cart and pre-order. Well, one link didn't work. One link worked. Like the third or fourth link I tapped on worked. Boom, pre-order, Xbox Series X. Hit it, in my cart, check out right away. Now, I actually had an item in my cart that I wasn't sure I was going to buy. So when I checked out, I did it so quick, I ended up buying that item. I'm keeping it anyway. It's a new keyboard. It's a wireless mechanical keyboard, Corsair wireless RGB keyboard to replace my current Corsair keyboard that's missing a couple keycaps. Some keycaps are cracked, and I'm trying to reduce some of the clutter on my desk, including the wires, because I have enough wires running with cameras and mics. I don't really need it for the keyboard. I understand that wireless does for PC gaming. It introduces, some milliseconds of lag. I get that, but you know what? I'm not such a hardcore PC gamer that I'm going to care about those milliseconds of lag. So that's okay. I play games like World of Warcraft on PC. I play Madden on PC sometimes, stuff like that. I don't really, strategy games, but strategy games I don't need. Basically, if I was a hardcore League of Legends player, that it might matter, and I might keep the plug-in keyboard, but whatever, doesn't matter. Point is that I got a Series X pre-order in on Amazon, and this was easier for me than it was with the PlayStation 5. Because see, the PlayStation 5, I didn't have the money that day. So that was one thing. I was working on borrowing some money to put down a pre-order for it for the next day when it was supposed to go up for pre-order. But reality is, getting it online was a crapshoot, right? Some people were successful, some people weren't. It was a crapshoot. Same was kind of true for Xbox Series X and Series S. It was kind of a crapshoot. It was really hard to get a pre-order in online. So both companies, I think, failed at online pre-orders. Both of them sucked at it. what pissed me off about PlayStation 5 is that it wasn't just online. My local GameStop, my local Walmart, my local Best Buy, my local mom and pop game shop put PlayStation 5 up for pre-order in store before the PlayStation 5 presentation was even complete and we even knew the price. They had the prices already in their system. They put it up for pre-order and they were sold out before the presentation was done. That's bullshit. Before we even knew if we could pre-order them, sold out. So the announced pre-order date for PlayStation 5, there was nowhere you could go in my area and actually pre-order it in person. At all. And this is why the Xbox situation was so much better. Because at least in person, you had warning so you could camp out the night before or do what you wanted to do to get a pre-order in if you would like. The PlayStation 5 in my area, at least, boom, retailers did not give a shit. There was no repercussions from Sony, and all the stock was gone with no one having a chance in person to actually pre-order the system on the pre-order date. That's why I feel like Sony was worse than what Microsoft did. Now, credit to GameStop. It feels weird crediting GameStop for much of anything. GameStop online did something with the Xbox Series X and S that was very smart. What they did, they created an online queue. So what did that online queue do? 1, it prevented the GameStop.com website from crashing. 2, it prevented 1 million plus people trying to pre-order on their website, put it in a shopping cart, and check out at the same time, which is going to cause chaos like it did at Target, like it did at Walmart, like it did eventually at Best Buy when it launched on Best Buy, and like it did at Microsoft's website. They created a queue. So what happened is you would click on the system to load the page up to pre-order, and it would bring up a splash page, which looked like shit on mobile, but whatever. It would bring up a splash page, and it would say, hey, you are now in line to pre-order an Xbox Series X or Series S. Do not leave or refresh this page. Doing so will move you to the back of the line. And it was legit. You just would wait, and usually within about 10 minutes, it would let you in individually and give you a chance to pre-order an Xbox Series X or an Xbox Series S. They were sifting people through probably dozens at a time for pre-orders. Did it mean you had to be patient? Of course it did. And people don't have patience. Like you could have clicked on it at like 10:45 and still got a pre-order in because people were getting impatient, were locking their phones, were refreshing the page or whatever, and getting to the back of the line, moving you rapidly up the queue. So I could have waited and got my pre-order in, but I already had it in on Amazon. So I decided I was going to let other people try to get it in on GameStop. So I left the queue because I was going to get the Xbox Series X through the queue. That was my plan right before 11 o'clock. But I was able to get it in on Amazon. So either way, I have a pre-order for Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. I do not have a pre-order for PlayStation 5. But I do have someone who's getting one that it is possible to, get them to get it to me. It probably won't. It definitely won't be here on launch day. But I can, have it shipped to me. It can be here in a week or two. It is what it is. But, yeah. Now, unless one of you guys out there happen to have multiple PlayStation 5 pre-orders and you're willing to part with one for me and get the shipping sent directly to me for launch, I'll pay you for it. But, gotta go some verifications before I just send along $500 plus tax and shipping to someone. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing, to make it work. Or if someone wants an S, I'm willing to potentially negotiate an S pre-order for a PlayStation 5 pre-order. But point is that I got it all pre-ordered up, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go for Xbox. PlayStation, it's gonna be hell. It's going to be hell to get that one because I refuse to pay a scalper. I refuse to pay. I do not want to support what the scalpers are doing, so I refuse to pay them. Even if they give me, it's only $100 more. I would rather pay $100 shipping and try to ship it in from Chile or something than I would pay a scalper. Or the GameStop's actually holding back the PlayStation 5 and getting the managers to buy it. That's been a thing at a lot of gaming stores, not just GameStop, where managers have been kind of hoarding pre-orders for themselves. That's been a thing that's been happening across the board. So I'm like, even at my GameStop, when the guy before said, we have 8 Xbox Series X systems, I wonder if suddenly they only had 5 because 3 of those Series X systems were reserved by employees, even though they're not supposed to be able to do that. If they want it, they're supposed to come in and pre-order it like anybody else. But, yeah. So I feel like at my GameStop, 3 of those Series X's were snatched up by employees. Personally, can't prove it, but I personally believe it. Personally, believe it happened with PlayStation 5 as well. So, yeah, it's a very interesting situation that happened with pre-ordering Xbox. But I have it all done. It's all locked in. I'm good to go. Notably on Amazon, it doesn't give a shipping date, so that's always a concern. Am I going to get a launch unit? Is it going to come later? I'll have a Series S on launch either way. But yeah, it's fun times. Fun times. It's always fun to be a gamer. One thing that's cool about these systems, though, is this might be potentially the last generation of hardware launches from Microsoft and Sony. Who knows if we're going to get another generation? I hope so, but who knows if we do? Nintendo's going to have another gen. I'm not as worried about Nintendo. There's going to be a gen after Switch. But check out what some people are saying in the chat here. We got Rain Pumpkin saying people talk about Xbox selling out, but here in Portugal it's not, although PS5 is full unavailable. Well, Xbox is, when people talk about being sold out, they're talking about North America. Xbox basically only matters in North America and the UK. I think the UK, it does okay as well. Xbox, it does not have popularity worldwide. They don't. It's primarily North America and primarily the United States that cares about Xbox. Outside of that, Japan gamers don't care. Most European gamers don't care. South American gamers, African, none of them care. But it's like North America, a little bit of Australia, and the UK. So English-speaking countries are basically the only ones that care. Like Portugal, where the primary language is Portuguese, they don't give a shit about Xbox. So Microsoft wants to change that, and I think that's the hope of Game Pass. Is Game Pass has a penetration level the Xbox brand could never get. But we'll see what happens. Brian C., feel good about my pre-orders. You got yours from Microsoft. Yeah, dude. Anyone who got their pre-orders from the Microsoft store ain't going to worry. I have to worry that Amazon's either going to cancel my pre-order of the Series X, or they're going to tell me, you're not getting a launch unit, you're getting a second shipment or a third shipment unit. I do have to worry about that with Amazon. If you got your pre-order in through the Microsoft website, I guarantee Microsoft's going to fulfill that pre-order. They're not going to screw over people that literally pre-ordered from their own website, even if it was a shit show to get the pre-orders through. Thanks for subscribing, Carrie Blank and Rocket Tank. What's with the Breath of the Wild 2 in the title? We started off the stream talking about Famitsu. Famitsu did a poll with Japanese gamers, and Breath of the Wild 2 is the most wanted and desired game in Japan right now. And that game hasn't been talked about since E3 2019, beyond a brief mention when Age of Calamity was announced, of course. Why is Breath of the Wild 2 in the title? Because we talked about it earlier. Just explained it. He's only responding to Microsoft comments. Because we already talked about Breath of the Wild 2. It was the very first thing we talked about. The stream's been going on a half hour. Come on now. Hey, Nate, I'm personally against these digital-only consoles. I'm not against digital games, but I'm against a digital-only future. There is no excuse why we still can't have physical and digital coexist. So here's my thing. Ring Fit Master. I'm personally against these digital-only consoles. Here's what I'm going to say to that. You're not against digital games, but you're against digital-only future. How do I explain this to you? If there was only digital, like say Xbox or PlayStation made it so their systems were digital only, complain. But they didn't. You just said you're not against digital games. Okay, well, there are people out there that legitimately only buy games digitally. They do not buy games physically. Those people shouldn't be made to pay extra for a feature that they don't want. That's my argument to you. My argument is digital-only consoles should exist because there are gamers that are only going to buy games digitally. Why should they pay extra for a disc player that's going to do nothing for them? Because of your fear? What are you afraid of? The PlayStation 5 just the PlayStation 5, not the all-digital version, the PlayStation 5 and the Series X are at the top of the sales charts. The all-digital version of PlayStation 5 and the Series S digital version has very low pre-order numbers in comparison to the normal PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. The numbers are significantly lower. So what are you even worrying about? Clearly, the market is showing that they want physical games. So what are we worrying about? What are we really worrying about here? Like, let the all-digital systems exist. Them existing doesn't mean physical is going away. That's like saying because my PC doesn't have a disk drive that I can't play games physically on PC. Of course I can. I can buy a disk drive, put it in my PC, and play games physically. It's an option. I just don't do it. I choose not to. I choose to just play games, like that on my PC. I get the fear of an all-digital future. I can't deny the fear. But I can say that I don't think you should be complaining that all digital consoles exist when you think digital purchases are fine. Well, if you're fine with digital purchases, then you should be fine with someone who only buys digitally, not wanting to pay extra for a feature they're never going to use. That's my little defense of all digital consoles. I have no issue with them. Now, if there was only an all digital console and there wasn't a physical disc playing one, then I shouldn't even say disc playing. You don't play the games off the disc anymore. You install them. It's an installer drive. Those disc drives, guys, unless you're watching 4K Blu-ray movies on them, all those drives are installers. You're just sticking the disc in to install the game. And even then, most of the files for the game are going to get downloaded anyways. Though you're either buying it for collector's value or resale value. Your game is completely digital on the system either way. I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the way it is. It's been that way this entire current generation too. For everyone but Switch. Switch actually still puts full games on their cartridges. Sony had an online queue. That's how you got your PlayStation 5. Sony had an email system that you could sign up for, and they would email and invite you to pre-order. That email system had probably, I would guess, at least 5 million people sign up for it. Maybe a few thousand actually got emails. Now, most people didn't even get an email saying, sorry, the pre-orders are gone. Is that better than what GameStop's queue did? I don't know. Is it better than what Microsoft did? I don't know. Microsoft made it a free-for-all. Sony said, hey, you're going to pre-order from us. We're going to create an online sign-up form, and we'll send you an email. I think GameStop's queue is the best way to do it because it wasn't reliant upon email signups. It's just visit the site and, hey, you're in a queue, and we'll let you through when it's your turn. When will I stream about Xcloud? When I have something to say about it. Right now, I have no experience with Xcloud, and it has not launched. There isn't much I can say about it other than I think there's a good chance it'll be successful where Google Stadia failed. Ed misses the Vita. Nintendo announced a new Kirby game. Yep, it'll be in Prime News, guys. I have a giant episode of Prime News coming up, like a huge episode coming up later today. Stay tuned for that. Should be here by about 5 or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. A big episode of Prime News. So stay tuned. I got you guys covered with that Kirby news and other stuff. The Kirby stuff leaked yesterday, but obviously Nintendo is now confirmed. So we'll be talking about that in Prime News. Microsoft and Sony need to start pressing North American ISPs for better bandwidth if they want an all-digital /streaming future. So, Mr. Pete, 1985, about that. There are obviously places in the United States that have really bad internet speeds. Where they don't even have anything better than DSL. That's basically what I'm saying. Because DSL is not good enough. Most places, quote unquote most, have cable internet access. And the cable internet access speeds are at a level that is just fine for streaming these games in 1080p. Now, you want 4K and above, yeah, you need something more crazy. But most cable internet providers are already giving their users enough speeds to do that. And cable internet is the most popular type of internet in the United States. So a majority of gamers in the United States already have fast enough internet for what Xcloud is doing. And it's being proven by people who are doing it over cell phone networks on their phones on Android right now, who are in the beta. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the ISP internet speeds. Would I love everyone to have fiber? Hell yeah. I would love for everyone to have fiber. I wish I had fiber. I have a business line cable internet connection, so I have 450 down for my download. My upload's still shit. I get like 25 to 30 up on my upload. That sucks. Why am I capped on my upload? I have no freaking idea. And I pay like $100 a month for it. It's a little insane. But even if I just had the standard package, which was like $60 a month for 150 down and 10 up, that's good enough to stream Xcloud at 1080p. So, not really that concerned about it, to be honest. Now, I realize not everyone has the internet options I do here. And fiber is supposedly coming to my area within 5 years, but I don't know if I'm going to be living at this house in 5 years, so that's another. We'll see. Data caps are still a thing in most states. Data caps, from what I know about people that live in other states, data caps are a thing depending on who your internet provider is. It is not mandated by the state. Now there are some areas where you don't have an option for an uncapped internet. I have uncapped, obviously. And a lot of states have options for uncapped, but not every area, every state does. Basically, any internet provided by a cell phone provider, if you have Verizon, Fios, or whatever, or AT&T's internet, they seem to all put data caps on, unless you pay like an exorbitant amount of money to get rid of it. And that's unfortunate. But things like Spectrum and Charter, they offer capless internet and are available in most major territories. Granted, there's a lot more downtime with Spectrum than I've seen with other internet providers. It's kind of a give and take. The internet infrastructure in the United States isn't fantastic. It's better than some other countries, but it's not like, world leading. Japan's world leading. China's getting up there on world leading. United States internet services are it's all over the place. Like I shouldn't have better service here than someone does in like Chicago, but I do. It's weird. But that's the world we live in right now. For the most part, a majority of people that game and game online already have fast enough internet to do Xcloud. A majority. I'm not saying everybody, but a majority. If you have data caps and you can't game online, then Xcloud's not something you're considering anyways. Heck, Verizon offers unlimited data plans nationwide for phones. If you have the unlimited internet data plan and you're rocking 4G LTE or even 5G, you already have fast enough internet on your phone, assuming you have a good enough signal where you are, to play Xcloud. That's what the big thing coming through Android right now. The beta for Xcloud on Android is showing that if you have 4G LTE and a good connection, or 5G and a good connection, you have fast enough internet on your phone to run Xcloud. That's without using internet at your house. And there are unlimited plans. I know on Verizon for sure there are unlimited plans nationwide. That's not a state-to-state thing. Nationwide, they have unlimited internet plans. I'm not saying it's not expensive. I'm not arguing pricing. I'm just saying the options are there. Whether or not you want to take advantage of those options is a different story. Not everyone can afford to take advantage of the options. Robert, Breath of the Wild info. Breath of the Wild info. Breath of the Wild info. So for those who don't know, that one guy, I see you. My live streams are just me talking about shit. I'm not reporting news in this live stream. The reason Breath of the Wild 2 is in the headline, for everyone that keeps going, Zelda, what's the news? I already talked about it. It was the very first thing I talked about in the live stream. You want to know what it was? Rewind the stream and go watch it. The abridged version is that the most wanted game in Japan at the moment is Breath of the Wild 2, according to Famitsu. And then I talked about how badly I want the game. That's what it's about. There's no breaking Breath of the Wild news. If there was, I wouldn't be here streaming about it. I'd be making a video about it. This is just me talking about it because I take any excuse to talk about Breath of the Wild 2. So, you want my attention. Begging nonstop about something I already talked about on stream is not the best way to get my attention. Anyways, I got pre-orders in for the S and X, Kanye West. Yep. I got my pre-orders in. I got one in person for the S, and then I got one online at Amazon for the X. Sorry, I don't mean to like offend anyone with that. It's kind of like my children, where I'll tell my kids something, and then they'll come at me like a half hour to an hour later and be like, what was that again, Dad? What was that again, Dad? Huh? I didn't hear you say that, Dad. I wouldn't. Well, like, I understand that you're in live streams, people pop in at different times, and you don't really know what was already talked about. I understand that. It's just, some people are getting angry about it. I'm like, don't get angry. Like, rewind the stream. Ultra CXXV111 says, thank you, sir, for your great channel. I want to point out that your arguments are really smart and solid. I try. Oh, update. I can give this update. Microsoft has announced that they will not be announcing any new studio acquisitions at Tokyo Game Show. They put out there in a tweet. They talked about, this is what we're going to talk about. They're not talking about anything next gen at Tokyo Game Show. And they said, in addition, we are not announcing any studio acquisitions at Tokyo Game Show. They're not saying that basically what I'm saying is they're not saying that they didn't buy Sega. They're saying that we are not announcing it at Tokyo Game Show. Doesn't mean there won't be other announcements, though. Doesn't mean that Sega won't get announced as a Game Pass partner, which is what the news might really be about. It might really be about Game Pass partnership. But I'm just throwing that out there that Microsoft has come out publicly. This happened right before I went live. They came out publicly with a tweet and said, we will not be announcing any new game studio acquisitions during Tokyo Game Show. So just throwing that out there. If people are hoping to like, oh, we'll find out this weekend if they acquired Sega, you're not gonna hear anything because they're not gonna talk about it. But you might hear about Game Pass. I guarantee you'll hear about Game Pass. 64, Sunshine or Galaxy? I like Galaxy the best, Sunshine, and then 64. Basically, for those who don't want physical to go away, as long as the demand is large enough for physical, it's not going to go anywhere. They're going to keep making systems that allow physical disc insertion so long as there's a high enough demand for it. So don't worry about what the companies are doing. Worry about the consumers. The reason that a lot of PCs don't come with disk drives anymore is because the consumer base for PCs stopped buying. As soon as the option was given for no disk drive, people stopped buying computers with disk drives. They realized I can download everything I need off the internet. I don't need a disk drive to install anything. I don't even need a disk drive to install Windows. I don't need a disk drive. So the PC users spoke with their wallets and stopped buying systems with disk drives. As long as the disk drive systems are the leading selling platform and by a really wide margin, there is no concern for an all-digital future. None. No system maker is going to just ignore the majority of their audience because they want to push digital. It's not going to happen. These companies aren't Apple. Okay? Apple will, if it was Apple making a video game console, they might do it because they might push their agenda. Microsoft and Sony might sweeten the pot for all digital, but they ain't abandoning physical anytime soon. And Nintendo is definitely not abandoning physical. They're like the complete opposite direction. Is YouTube my full-time job? No. Just a hobby. It's just a hobby. Did you hear about the rumored Metal Gear Solid remake for PlayStation 5? Yep, I actually heard about it yesterday before people were talking about it today. So, yep, I've heard about it. I wish I could show you guys, dude. So, yesterday, my fiance surprised me. She got me a new monitor. This thing is a beast. I put up pictures on Twitter. Pictures do not do it justice. In fact, I'm going to record a video right now and put it up on Twitter. So if you're not following me on Twitter, go to Twitter at @NintyPrime. I'm about to put up a little video here while I'm streaming, showing the screen. So I'm going to kind of go over. So like over here, I have my normal 4K monitor, had 2 of them, some Dell monitor, 60 hertz, still around for live stream purposes and whatever else. You see some of the Sonic crap on it. Over here now, here's the new monitor that my fiance surprised me with yesterday. Just taking a little gander here during a live stream. That's 49 inches, 3840 by 1080p. An amazing monitor for programming, an amazing monitor for video editing even. And it's HDR. I don't have it running in HDR yet, but I will with my new graphics card next week. This is insane. And then this is the live chat that just doesn't give a hoot about anything going on right now. Man, I love my fiance. She hardly ever buys me anything, but when she does, she goes all out. This is like $1,000 monitor. It's crazy. And I legit mean it. It's $1,000 monitor. I'm gonna go put that up on Twitter right now. As my phone's about to die. Let's see if it'll even upload it before my phone dies. Oh, it's a little long. Oh, wait, no. I think I can get it all in. Yeah. It's only 55 seconds. I think I can get it all in. I think the full 55 seconds will post. All right. It's posting right now. So did I get a Series X? Yes, I have one pre-ordered at Amazon. And I have a Series S pre-ordered in person at GameStop. This is a bit personal, and I apologize if this sounds dumb. But I love physical games because to this day, I still find something magical about going to a store, finding a game, and looking at the art. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. I have some physical games. I got some Switch physical games back here. This little thing here is all physical games. There's an N64 game right there. I got some 3DS physical games right in here. Nothing wrong with physical games. I got NBA 2K19 like right here for Xbox. Nothing wrong with physical games. I mean, heck, I got a GameStop pre-owned Mario Odyssey thing right here. Like, there's nothing wrong with physical games. I buy physical games. But I probably at this point buy more digitally than I do physically. But I also come from the PC perspective. I'm a tech guy, so I do a lot of things digitally already, so it's just more convenient. But, you know, there's always concerns about digital. Oh, how are you going to play the game after they vanish? Well, a lot of these Xbox and PlayStation games require updates to play anyways, day one, or you can't play the game. So when the servers go down and you can't download those updates, if you happen to delete that game or you buy a new system and you pop that disc in, it won't be able to play the game. Now, Switch will be able to play most Switch games without day one updates because most of the games on Switch are playable off the cart day one. You know, but Switch is also not using discs and not installing games. I hate scalpers. Everywhere. I don't think there's anyone who likes scalpers except people who also scalp. Sam Leo said, I have a gut feeling we will get some sort of Switch revision next year. It could be an upgraded Switch, and in the past they've had revisions for their systems, especially portables. It is possible. Grandmaster Tucker said, did you hear about the leaked Kirby game? Yep. Know all about it. It'll be talking about it during Prime News later. What would you say is the best 3D Mario game? Super Mario Odyssey. Woohoo! Yeah! Jump up in the... Oh, I love that song. Jump Up Superstar. All right. See that video posted or if my phone died. No, phone's still alive. Hey, video posted. Video posted. Yeah. Ba-bam. This is what we're wearing for Prime News today, by the way. Looking all fly. It's going to be fun. Camera set up, green screen at the ready, lights are at the ready. Everything's ready to go for Prime News. As soon as I'm done with the stream, I go into a massive recording session for Prime News. For Prime News. Yeah. It's going to be great. Favorite game in 3D All-Stars? Probably, okay, Galaxy's my favorite game among the three, but I'd probably say Sunshine because it's the most impressive changes made were to Sunshine, even though there's still a lot of bugs and debug stuff they didn't take out. Galaxy is my favorite game of the 3, but I'm more impressed with what they did with Sunshine than they did with any of the rest of the games. To be fair, they didn't need to do much with Galaxy. You get your pre-order in from Amazon. I'm not sure how Amazon do pre-orders. They won't charge you till they ship it. That's how Amazon does pre-orders. But that's how they do all their products, actually. You don't get charged till they ship. I have a pre-order on Amazon as well. Mine says that, we'll email you when we know a shipping date. Amazon's weird with pre-orders. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. So it's hard to know. I know I was one of the very first people to pre-order on Amazon. I know that. But being among the first doesn't guarantee my system, so we'll see. No instruction booklets with great art, and now it usually doesn't even... Dude, most games don't even have anything in it, not even an insert anymore. The 100% reward for Sunshine made me mad the first time I saw it. I'm so angry. Robbins has a question here. Says, question for you and your honest opinion, please. What do you think about MiHoYo's new Breath of the Wild inspired game, Genshin Impact? Because I'm up and down on that. I don't know much about Genshin Impact. I've heard about it, but I don't know enough about it to give an opinion. I've seen a trailer for it. It didn't bother me. But I'm all for games like more Breath of the Wild kind of games, the better to me. Demon Rage 90 hits us with a boop, boop, bah! That'll make you holler. We got Super Chat up in here. Yo, sucks that people were buying the Xbox One X without realizing it wasn't the pre-order of the Xbox Series X. Bramble Blast from Smash Brawl. So we got a music request. All Super Chats and donations get music requests if you would like from Nintendo games. So let me get that music request playing for you, my good sir. My good sir. Would you like a music request? Bramble Blast, I got you, man. Let me turn that down a little bit here before I play it. Don't want to blow people's eardrums up. Blow my own eardrums out. Let me turn my volume down. God knows what volume I'm at. All right, let me unmute it. All right, we got Bramble Blast here for Demon Rage 90. Yeah. Xbox, we're smart, and they discontinued the Xbox One X, but they probably should have pulled inventory off the shelves during the pre-order period for Xbox Series X and then put it back on the shelves. I don't know. It's really hard to pull back systems you already have sent to retailers. What's up, Neil Agosto? Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to find your brother to PlayStation 5. You can't find any. Good luck. I don't think you're going to find any at all. The reward show that I just wasted my time. It's like getting the golden poo for getting all the Kokiri seeds in Breath of the Wild. The accomplishment should just be what you did. Anything they give you in games is not going to be like some magical thing that's going to make you feel good. Even if they gave you an achievement. What the hell is an achievement anyways? I don't need a magical trophy to tell me how awesome I am. I know what I did. I know what I did. Well, that's a conversation for another day. Nothing wrong with achievements, by the way. I'm just saying that like they don't make me feel more fulfilled as a gamer to have them. Your favorite Nintendo song, thank you. Well, Demon Rage 90 requested it, so. Alright, yeah, you'll be able to show up in person still to get systems too, if you're like one or two people at the store. There's not going to be very many of these systems out there. Thank you for your opinion. I am just getting a bit impatient for it to release on the Nintendo Switch console because it's coming out. There's no release date announced yet. Yeah, happens, man. Dude, I'm looking forward to Phoenix Rising, man. Phoenix Rising! Looks so good. Moviesoft. Oh, it looks so good. I can't wait. I'm waiting for a Series S for the living room. Nice. All right. Alrighty then. Rocket League is free. Absolutely 100% free and on Switch right now. Yep. Yes, it is, Charlie. Thank you for letting everyone know. Who would do community service on an entire island and get a postcard? That's dumb. It's about... When you mention it as community service is supposed to be its own reward. I know it's a video game, but I'm just saying that like the act of doing the kindness is supposed to be its own reward. If you want to treat it like community service. It's not like it's community service that you were mandated by the courts to do. It's community service you volunteered to do. You didn't have to do it. Maybe it's just me, Nate, but I wish Sony/Microsoft didn't keep calling their next console Xbox this or PlayStation that. I miss the creative names Nintendo, Sega, Atari named their systems back then. You mean like the Nintendo Entertainment System and then the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and then the Nintendo 64, and then the Nintendo GameCube. They all have Nintendo in their name, in case you didn't know. The Nintendo Switch. Like, the naming convention of PlayStation might seem lame. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, but it's clear-cut, concise, and easy for consumers to understand. Nintendo confuses consumers. And then the Xbox is more like Nintendo. We have the Xbox. Then we have the Xbox 360. Then we have the Xbox One. Then we have the Xbox One X. Now we have the Xbox Series X. And the Xbox Series S. Like, Microsoft's taking a page out of Nintendo's naming book. We have the 3DS. We have the new Nintendo 3DS. We have the 3DS XL. We have the new Nintendo 3DS XL. Then we have the 2DS. And then the 2DS XL. The DS. We have the DSi. Like, it's literally pages out of Nintendo's book. The Wii. And then the Wii U. The Wii Mini. It's all pages out of Nintendo's book. Microsoft's literally using Nintendo's playbook. But it's not a very good playbook. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is way clearer to consumers than anything Nintendo or Xbox does with their names. As clever as I think Nintendo Switch is, by the way. Nintendo goes with unique names because they create unique hardware. Xbox doesn't really make unique hardware. So their naming convention trying to copy Nintendo doesn't really make any sense. But the Xbox One S is also a thing. You are correct. Galaxy remembered Luigi exists and made fans happy. Thank you for subscribing, Low Trek. Age of Calamity should hopefully show Link's life before the Master Sword and why the Hylian shield is in his arsenal. Because in the memories of Breath of the Wild, he doesn't have it. So, it's going to show, obviously, before Link was a champion. He might have been bestowed the Master Sword when he became champion. It might have been given to him by the royal family. It's entirely possible that it's really that simple. When he was chosen as champion, he could have been given the sword. As for the shield, I have no idea. But we'll see. Why'd they make it free? They sell DLC and cosmetics. Cosmetics, Charlie. Excuse me. So they think they'll make more money pushing those instead of pushing an upfront price. Basically, they're hoping to explode in popularity, gain millions of more players that are more willing to spend money on cosmetics. That's what they're hoping for. They want to Fortnite this son of a bitch. That's what they're trying to do. Because there's nothing you can buy in Fortnite that gives you a true competitive advantage. Nothing. It's all cosmetic. So they're trying to do that. They're trying to convince people to spend more money on cosmetics since they don't have to spend money up front. Sega was very creative with their names. Master System, Genesis, Saturn, Dreamcast, Game Gear, and Nomad. Yep. And of those, 1.5 were successful. Just throwing that out there. They weren't very successful with most of those systems. Not me knocking them. I enjoyed all those systems up to Dreamcast, man. But at least the Xbox Series S is significantly cheaper than the Series X. The digital-only Xbox One S is only $25 cheaper. Yeah, well. I think adding new to the name was a terrible idea. I remember looking for 3DS. I saw used new 3DSs. New 3DS, but it wasn't new. New 3DS. Yeah. Nintendo's had some weird naming conventions. Granted, the new 3DS sold really well, but it's weird. Yeah, we are probably about to get the new Nintendo Switch. That's probably what they're going to call it. People keep calling it the Switch Pro, including myself, because we just don't want Nintendo to do that, but they're going to. I'm going to buy it. It's not a very good marketing term. In my opinion, anyways. My humble opinion. We have more likes than people watching. Yeah, baby. Yeah. All right. I think that's going to call it for the stream. I got to go. I got to get going on Prime News. I got to finish gathering stories. I only have a couple. I want to make sure I get like 5, 6. Maybe I'll get 8 in. We'll see. Depends on how many crazy stories we have out there. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. You'll catch me on camera next for a Prime News episode and give or take 2-ish hours from recording to editing to getting it live for you guys. Thank you for stopping out at the stream. I really appreciate it. Let me give a shout out to everyone who's super chatted here. We have, let me back up here. We got Thark with the $10 Australian. I did not get the 35th anniversary pins. Let me see here. Zen Master Daniel with the $2 super chat as well. Brian C with $2 super chat. And then we had Demon Rage 90 with the $5 super chat. Thank you guys so much for that support. You guys are awesome. Thanks for topping out. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content lately. Prime News is up next, and I'll catch you guys there. Peace.